The United States and South Korea are warning that Pyongyang is preparing for a nuclear test. Its first in 5 years. And if it does happen, there are set to be consequences.
A nuclear test would be dangerous. It would be deeply destabilizing to the region. It would blatantly violate international law, as set out in multiple United Nations Security Council resolutions. So, we urge the DPRK to refrain from further destabilizing activity.
If North Korea ventures into another nuclear test, and I think that it will only strengthen our deterrence and also international sanctions. And it will only isolate North Korea from the international community.
The fact is, Pyongyang is used to international isolation, and it hasn't stopped them. Already this year, it has carried out 31 missile tests, a new record, and some of those missiles were nuclear capable. And each test flies in the face of continued attempts to get North Korea to denuclearize, leading to the inevitable question: how realistic is it that North Korea will ever give up its nuclear weapons?
Many experts and government officials, I think they do agree that it is a complete denuclearization of North Korea at a certain point in a very close future is something unattainable for now, especially considering how North Korea is seeing nuclear weapons as part of their most important leverage and power to survive in the international order.
When we say the denuclearization, maybe the facilities can be removed, but still the knowledge and the technology will be there. So because of that, the complete denuclearization wouldn't be easy at all.
But that hasn't stopped the United States and South Korea from insisting on it.
Respond to the call for dialogue and peace on the Korean Peninsula through complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization.
Our goal remains the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
We seek serious and sustained diplomacy to pursue the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
To be clear, complete denuclearization here refers to the total elimination of all nuclear weapons and nuclear programs in North Korea. It also includes a stop to all possibilities of nuclear weapons technology being shared with other countries. US policy on North Korea has revolved around this central theme for decades. But the reality in Kim Jong-un's North Korea is very different. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIPRI, which studies disarmament and arms control, estimates that North Korea has 20 nuclear warheads. And then there's the missiles that can deliver them.
세용의 대륙간 탄도로켓 시험 발사 성공.
North Korea's state media says it's carried out 2 more missile tests this week.
North Korea has fired a long-range missile in what Japan is calling an unacceptable act of violence.
The North has carried out more than 100 tests of missiles that can carry nuclear warheads. The Hwasong-14 and the Hwasong-15, for example, are believed to be nuclear capable and able to target the continental United States. And these aren't the only nuclear capable missiles the country has. So will the North ever give them up?
So when you think about the regime itself, the Kim family or the other elites in North Korea, they wouldn't give up their power. They wouldn't give up what they've possessed until now. And for them, they do not have any other bargaining power or bargaining cards against the other countries apart from nuclear power. So because of that, North Korean regime will not give up the nuclear facility or nuclear program.
And there's other reasons why. North Korea is a hereditary dictatorship in which the current leader's legitimacy is partly achieved by following the instructions or orders of previous leaders. In Kim Jong-un's case, it's about following the goal of attaining nuclear weapons capabilities, first set by his grandfather and founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung. And don't forget how North Korea itself has observed the fate of other autocratic regimes.
If we think about what has happened to Gaddafi or Hussein afterwards by the US armies, then the Kim Jong-un also clearly knows that. So for him, he needs something very strong as a deterrence, and the nuclear program has been the only one big power for them.
So if that's the case, why does the US keep insisting North Korea give up its nuclear weapons?
So when they talk about denuclearization, I don't think they say that based on the real goal that they will be able to completely denuclearize North Korea. But the reason why they use the term complete is because that is a normative goal that they have to pursue, considering the international order where only a few countries are allowed to have nuclear weapons and it should not proliferate to other countries.
If we want to accept North Korea as a de facto nuclear state, then that means that we have another country which is relatively unstable in terms of the country power and the fragility, has the nuclear power in possession, which we can't then expect whether the leaders can reasonably use the nuclear power or not.
So what's the alternative?
The only option could be lifting sanctions, not entirely of course, but at least partially. Then we can try to see how North Korea can cooperate with outside of the world. Then by doing that, we can approach North Korea better, and then we can have people-to-people contact, and then we can actually see the changes from the bottom, because the regime would not change, the regime would not abandon its current status.
That's just one suggestion. And honestly, there aren't too many out there. It's a long-standing dilemma with no easy answers. In the near term, though, North Korea's nuclear weapons program appears here to stay, alongside hopes of ending it.